Today we're looking at Trains from Alderac Entertainment Group, designed by Hisashi Hayashi. It's a deck building game for 2 to 4 players, playable in about 45 minutes or less, and it's for ages 12 and up. You can pick up Trains for an MSRP of $59.99. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, what, another deck building game from AEG? But then again, AEG does make some pretty good deck builders with Thunderstone and Nightfall. And this is actually a Japanese design, which came out in 2012 by a company. It was released by Japan Brand. So this is not actually an in-house AEG design, but it's part of their Big in Japan line of games. So let's take a look to see what's in the box. I'll be the first to point out, it is a pretty heavy box, so I'm taking a guess this is going to be loaded with some goodies here. And we can see we've got a nice, large rule book here. The premise of Trains is each of the players is leading a railway company in Japan. So everyone's competing to have the biggest and best and most profitable railroad company. So let's take a look here at the book. Pretty giant sized book here. Looks like everything's laid out. So there's your introduction, the cards, explaining the concept of the game, setups. Now, I understand that the maps themselves, or the map, is dual-sided. I'm not sure if that means it's one side for 2 players and the other side for 3 to 4, or if you use one side for a shorter game and the other side for a longer game. But of course, we'll find out in the review. There's also some more rules here, some terminology used in the game, a game example. Altogether, it's 12 pages of rules. This is the map that I was talking about. And on one side we have the Tokyo side. And on the other, the Osaka side. And these, no doubt, are different cities that you're going to look to try to connect your railways, and different terrain types, no doubt, as well. There are also different wooden markers to be included. So I believe, from what I've heard, the little cubes mark stations that you own. I'm not sure what the little wooden cylinders represent. And then we've got various decks of cards. So we're going to take some of these out. Now, from my understanding, there should be some additional wooden markers which will mark the rail lines. So let's see if there's somehow... No, they are not in here. So I wonder... No, I don't think that would be the case. Let's take a look at the rules. See what they're indicating each of the pieces should be. Oh, no, my mistake. The squares are actually rail tokens and they're used as scoring tokens. So everything's in here. Whew. Dodged a bullet there. So we've got all the various different decks of cards. So let's see what we've got. We're not going to look at each and every one of the cards because since this is a deck building game, you're going to find that there are many multitudes of various different cards, but I think there's over 35 different cards. So we have normal trains, which by the number of these, I'm going to take a guess, everybody gets a few of those. Express train. Limited Express Train. Laying Rails. No doubt these are the cards that you'll have to use to connect the various cities together. Let's take a look here, and it shows that it appears that some of the cards give you a special bonus. So drawing a card for the passing station. Draw 2 cards for a signaling area. Control room, you get to draw 3 cards. Pulling. Looks like you can take a train card from your discard pile and put it back in your hand. Early train. And of course, because it's a deck builder, not all of these cards will be in play at the same time. You're going to randomize some of the various different cards. Usually about half the cards everybody starts off with the same hands, and then you'll randomize the other half of the cards that are going to make up the other decks. So we've got Wagon Factory. Very nice quality on the cards, as we can see. Although with any game involving cards, even though there's over 500 cards in this one, I'm probably going to recommend that you sleeve them, especially if you're going to play it quite a bit. So there you have what's in the box for Trains from AEG. And stay tuned, of course, I will have a review of Trains in the very near future. And until then, be sure to swing over to thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news and reviews and a whole lot more. Once again, this is Jeff McAleer, and thanks for watching.